Welcome in. We'll be doing a 45-ish minute Vinyasa style practice today. Blocks would definitely be handy. We'll have the back knee down a little bit, so blanket if you've got it around. Of course, if you like for your meditation, Shavasana, any of that, a pillow or bolster or cushion work well too. So pause if you need, grab what you need, and I will meet you on the mat when you are ready. I'm gonna get my own timer going here because otherwise y'all know that I will go on and on. So we're gonna try to keep it appropriate for a lunch break style practice. We will be up and moving. So grab what you need and I'll meet you on the mat in just a moment. We'll start in a seat today. So once you've got what you need, silly me, I forgot to take my socks off before we started. That makes practice difficult. So once you've got what you need, you might elevate your hips. Always like to give the option of, um, sitting back on your heels if you prefer. This is the place we'll land today as we set up our intention. And I'm really excited to work with some um, deep philosophy explorations from the Upanishads specifically today. So settle in and feel into your body. Give yourself a few moments to land, a few breaths. Make sure you've got what you need for your practice. And then, if it's feeling safe, your eyes might close or stay drawn down to the earth and a point that's unmoving, somewhere where your eyes can be soft. So, in the Upanishads, there's a moment where the sage Aruni is teaching his son about the essence of Tattvam Asi. You are that. And it's an exploration of this idea that the individual is not separate from the whole. And so, this concept of duality is something we see so constantly in yoga practice, the paradox of many realities existing at once. So, the metaphor used in the Upanishads is that that he is just a drop of water, but he's not separate from the ocean. He says, as a lump of salt is dropped into water and dissolves and cannot be taken out again, though wherever you taste the water, it is salty. So also is this great being, infinite and boundless. It's the essence of all things. And then he says to his son, you are that, Tattvamasi. So this and that, both and all. And these are where the concepts of neti neti or iti iti come from. Neither this nor that, or all of this and all of that. And I feel like it's a really valuable exploration in this human life as we work through the ways that we define ourselves and we see how that changes and how we can be many things at once and we can also be nothing at all. We can think we are something and then that changes and it becomes something else. And so, really worthy explorations in our yoga practice. So, I encourage all of you to carry this with you through the practice today, just as salt pervades water and becomes inseparable from it. The self, the true self, capital S self, is not separate from the infinite, the greater, that which is beyond the self, however you may define that. So take a few breaths here. I know that's a lot. Y'all know I like my um, philosophical sankalpas, intentions for the practice, because that's really, in my approach to the practice, that really is what it's all about. Otherwise, we're just kind of getting on the mat to do exercise, right? Nothing wrong with exercise, but it is different than yoga. Mm. So neti neti, this is teaching us discernment, seeing beyond opposites and recognizing what we're not, in contrast to iti iti, which invites an acceptance and allows us to embrace I am this and that. We are this, we are that, all of it, part of the whole. So, in this class of movement and stillness, effort and ease, expansion and contraction, we're going to work to embody this um, concept of contrast in life, of duality. It's very hard to pinpoint, um, or impossible, I might say, to pinpoint one reality or a reality. And there's just so much contrast that exists. Perhaps there's a particular example in your body or in your life that you might want to pull into your mind as we settle here for a final few breaths. And just allow this intention to um, permeate, allow ourselves to sit with it. Feel the dualities even in your breath, how the inhale opposes the exhale, the heaviness of the weight of your own body with the lightness of all of the space around it. You can take your fingertips out at your hips if they're not already there. And in this exploration of opposition, let's work to lift just one arm at a time. So typically we'd go right in and with both arms. I want you to explore differences in right and left. So inhale your left arm up to the sky. Feel the length of your left side body, and then slowly turn your palm and exhale down. You're welcome to keep your eyes closed through this part if you'd like, or you can open them up. Float your right fingertips high now. Feel into that space on the right side ribs. And notice how, as the space is created there, there's a little bitty form of contraction that exists on the left side. Float your right fingertips down. Let's take that a few more times. So inhaling left fingertips and down. Inhaling right fingertips and down. This time, as you hover your left fingertips, go ahead and lean on over toward your right, really opening up that length. And as you lengthen the left side, the right side gets a little shorter. Contrast in our form. Left hand lands, right fingertips reach up and overhead. And all the way back to center. If you'd like to lower down, if your hips are elevated, you might set your cushion or pillow off to the side. You can keep hips elevated if you'd like to. Good time to swap the crisscross of your ankles if you're in your habitual side. Take your left hand across midline and find the top of your right knee or thigh. Let's take a spin over toward the right. And just notice again here the difference between right side body and left side body. Totally different sensations happening on one side and the other side, but also part of this one great whole. That is you, that is your form. Exhale to come all the way across center. Take your right hand atop left knee or left thigh. No guarantee that the rotations in both directions will feel equal, will feel the same. And then go ahead and come all the way back to center. One whole breath in and one whole breath out. Let's take a fold, a flexion and extension here before we come up onto hands and knees. So you can fold it forward to palms, to forearms, perhaps all the way down toward your forehead. Notice the sensation that arises in flexion as we fold inward. Really, really different energetic response in the body than when we lift or extend the spine. So let's try that out. Walk your hands on back, press your palms behind you a little bit or a lot, and work to lift your heart. You might even interlace your fingers behind you if you prefer that. So it's a lift, little bitty extension here. Perhaps allow the weight of your head to rest back. Notice, um, you feel what you feel in your form, but I know in my form there's like a huge contrast and the energetic sensation between those two types of postures. Come on back toward neutral. Swap the crisscross of your feet again. I'm going to take that fold forward and the extension one more time. So walk it out to hands, palms, or forehead to the earth. Taking a breath to notice. And then walking on back. The contrast to that, we work into a little bitty extension. Lift your heart, perhaps allow the weight of your head to rest back. And then walk it on up toward neutral. Great. Okay, let's meet up in tabletop. You might want to have your blocks be handy toward the top edge of your mat. You can roll up and over knees and ankles or sweep your feet around behind you. Stack up your knees. You can take wrists and elbows in under your shoulders or just slightly out from your shoulders, and then drop your navel toward the earth. So one of our favorite tried and true offerings of contrast, of paradox in the body and the practice is a little cat and cow. So press the earth away around your back, find some space between your shoulder blades. And then as you allow your navel to drop, notice how your shoulder blades slide together and there's more contraction or compression in the back. Exhale, press the earth away, just enjoying that physical contrast of flexion and extension, and also the contrast of stillness and motion, right? As you pause in one for a breath, and then you come into movement, pause in the next, take one more round. Slide on back toward neutral. Tuck your toes under and then invite your heels to the earth. Reach your hips up high, Adho Mukha Svanasana, and we'll play here as well with stillness and movement. So as you first land there, take a little bit of movement. It doesn't have to look like mine, right? It can look like yours. Maybe it's a swivel of your hips. Maybe it's a pedal of your heels. You can shake your head yes or no, and then land into stillness. A static versus dynamic expression in the form. Take a breath. And then lift your gaze forward. Help offer your right foot all the way up through. So this is where perhaps if you're working on a ceramic or wood floor or without a mat, you might want to cushion your back knee if you've got that blanket handy. Find your blocks. We'll start there for stability. And you'll have the option to build upward, build on or build upward, right, in the practice. So low body, it's a deep Anjaneyasana. You all know I love this one, but it's also wonderful to be exploring this theme of contrast of Neti Neti and Iti Iti. And then a roll back toward Ardha Hanumanasana. So it could be here, could be here. You could walk it back, right? Listen to what your hamstrings tell you. So this is option A. We keep it here in the low body. If you want to add on a piece for the upper body, getting into that more of that paradox, right? We're looking at paradox of identity, but also in movement or through movement, I should say, rather. It could look like this. So as you rock your hips back, it's a hug. Hands come back towards your shoulder blades and fold. And as you rock your hips forward, you can take your wingspan out wide. Okay, so there's a little bit of an extension and flexion in the spine accompanying this movement. Take one more round on this side. Expanding and contracting. And then go ahead and land your hands to the earth or back onto your blocks. Settle your right knee back alongside your left. Reset your downward facing dog form. Take a breath. Again, if you want, you can perhaps explore movement and then stillness, dynamic then static. And then go ahead and lift your gaze forward. It's left foot that leads this time. Cushion your right knee if you'd like to. So the movement starts low and supported. It's Anjaneyasana, Ardha Hanumanasana. And already there's a lot to explore. This contrast in the physical form, deep hips, deep hamstrings, right? Across the top of the thigh, then to the back as we alternate. You could hang out here if you want to add the upper body variations. It's wide arms as you sink into your lunge and a reach back. If you can remember which side you went to last time, it's the opposite elbow on top. A little bit of expansion, contraction, extension, and flexion, this and that. And at the same time, it's neither this nor that. It's one whole movement, right? One expression, your body, your form in movement. Take one more round, whichever variation you're in. And then go ahead and sink to your lunge, set your hands to the blocks or the earth, step your left knee back. And then I've got my hands on the blocks, so I'm going to actually leave them right there, but lower them down. You can bring your hands to the earth if you prefer. Settle back towards Balasana for a breath. Having the hands elevated on the blocks gives a little bit of an active element to a passive pose. So we get that contrast again. If you really want to go like passive, passive, let your arms come down to the earth or even rest back alongside your shins. We'll be here for just 2 more breaths. Inhale your gaze forward. You can round your spine to lift up. Tuck your toes under behind you. I'm going to stay right up on my blocks. I love this supported down dog variation, but you are very welcome to come right to the earth. And then walk your feet forward to come on up toward a forward fold at the tippy top of your mat, Uttanasana. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale to fold deeper. And then go ahead and roll up towards standing. Samasthiti, our check-in point always. Notice any differences that there are to notice between right side body, left side body, perhaps between upper body and lower body. And then go ahead and step your feet out to about hips width distance. Bring your arms along your ribs. Tadasana. See if you can feel 2 different sensations here. Perhaps it's feeling both grounded and expansive, or perhaps feeling sthira sukha, right? How Patanjali defines a yoga posture, both steady and soft, right? There's effort and ease. Can you find 2 seemingly contrasting sensations in your Tadasana? And notice how both of those sensations are part of the whole. And then if you'd like, draw your big toes together. The rest of the toes can come out wide. If you prefer to bring your feet together, we're heading toward Utkatasana, so my Ashtanga friends might like that variation better. Draw your sits bones way back, reach your fingertips high, or keep your hands to your heart, whatever you prefer in your Utkatasana. Notice how here it's not just effort, right? It's not just work, work, work. There's also a form of stability and rootedness, right? So not all effort, there's also some form of groundedness and strength and stability here. 3, 2, and 1. Take a fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Step it all the way back. You can go right into downward facing dog. So since we're in a shorter length class today, we won't be going through too many vinyasa cycles with chaturanga. However, you are more than welcome to build it in if you'd like it. Bring your gaze forward and step on up and through with your right foot, which I'm going to just swap around to the other side so you can see what's going on here. Spin your left heel down behind you. So it's a warrior 2 setup here. And then go ahead and bring your arms up and out wide. Warrior postures are always so nice to feel into the strength, the groundedness in the lower body. So see if you can contrast that with expansion and freedom in the upper body. I know sometimes, especially my Vata arm friends like me, this might not feel super expansive and free in the upper body. It might feel really, really hard. So see if you can build in that sensation. How can you get wider, lighter, freer in the upper body while the lower body really roots into that strength and sturdiness. And then lengthen your front leg. We'll take a variation here on reverse warrior. Land your left hand either to thigh or lower calf. Reach your right fingertips high. So we're taking a different variation in the lower body. Option here, we will go back toward our warrior two in the lower body, but if you'd like, you can play with the contrasting sensations of this reverse kind of trikonasana and reverse warrior. So maybe even pulse into that and see what shifts and changes between these two variations in the low body. Good. And then everyone bend deep into your front knee. Take your right forearm atop your right thigh or right hand to the earth or a block. It's Parsva Konasana. You know where we're going, right? Gaze can spin underneath your left elbow if you'd like. And then everyone go ahead and circle your left fingertips down to touch the earth. You're going to walk both hands toward the long edge of your mat and take a fold, as in Prasarita Padottanasana, looking for finding some peace and space in inversions. I know inversions can really freak people out, can spike a lot of stuff for us. This is a one that I like to offer to folks getting accustomed to the idea of being upside down, which is in contrast to our very, very upright lifestyle, right? Go ahead and lift up, if not already there, onto fingertips. Walk all the way around to frame your left foot at the back. So we're sliding right into a warrior two foundation in the lower body as we come up to the second side. Okay. So you can have your block handy at the back edge of your mat now if you'd like. Bend deep into your left knee. And again, it's that strength, stability, effort, rootedness in the low body, and a lightness and expansion, a float in the upper body. Here we go. Perhaps you can sink a little deeper. And then go ahead and lengthen your front leg. We're taking that reverse trikonasana. A really nice day here today, actually. Building up some heat as we start to come to standing and move around. Okay, so front leg is lengthened. Reach it on back. So it's like an extended trikonasana. A little mind blank there. And for those that would like, we'll of course add back in the warrior stance in a moment. But if you'd like to play with the contrast here, what shifts in your sensation as you sink toward warrior foundation and lengthen toward trikonasana? We're maintaining the length in the left side body, right side stays contracted, but what is contrasting in the low body as you oscillate, if you want to check that out? And then all variations come to a bent left knee. Take your left forearm atop your left thigh, or remember you've got that option to come on down to your block. Right fingertips reach up and overhead. Spin your gaze maybe underneath your right elbow. Parsva Konasana. Press out rooted through the little toe edge. So again, where is the effort and stability? It's this and that, and the expansion. And then also Neti Neti. It's neither this nor that. It's one great whole, creating this form, your body. Then go ahead and spin your right fingertips down. Circle all the way back towards center. Prasarita Padottanasana. Again, perhaps this time around, you want to play with landing the crown of your head to the earth. You might heel toe step further out, or if you're working with these front side split variations, you can heel toe step wide if you prefer there. If you're working on overcoming a little bit of fear with inversions, landing the crown of your head down is a great one to come into. And then go ahead and roll up towards your fingertips. So, so that I'm facing you, I am going to heel toe step right in to the very middle of my mat and come up to standing from there. You may want to step toward the front edge of your mat if you prefer. And then lift up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale back to your fold. And then come all the way on up. Gaze can float to your fingertips. Take a press of your palms together here at your heart to check back in. I feel like this concept is so infused with every movement, every moment, every part of our life, where we're constantly assessing, like, does this fit? Is that part of it? Is that part of it? Is none of this part of it? That it can also, when we look at it in this way, it can feel a little bit overwhelming, where it's like, oh my gosh, this is infusing everything. So if you feel that way at all, you can come back to an anchor. Perhaps it's the brief little mantra from the story, Tat Svamasi, or or maybe you like Iti Iti or Neti Neti, or maybe it's something even more simple. Inhale, exhale. All right. So you can step up to the top edge of your mat if you're not already there. Keep your right foot rooted as a base. Left foot can come to inside ankle, calf, or on up to the thigh. We'll move through a whole sequence of balancing here. Make sure your blocks, I should have said this before you were up and balancing, but make sure your blocks are there and handy. And then hand options could be hips, heart, perhaps up overhead, Vriksasana. Balancing effort with surrender here. Keep your right foot rooted. Release the connection of your left foot, but keep your left foot afloat. Now, bend into your knee. Bring your left heel towards your glutes, towards your hamstring. Take a reach back left hand to left foot. Okay, so this could be a great place to stay, right? If you're feeling a lot, little bitty Natarajasana variation, you might hinge forward into it. If you don't have an angled wall right in front of your face, perhaps there's a press of your left foot maybe into your left hand. So you can go as low or stay up as high. Natarajasana. Balancing both strength and grace. And then release your left foot. Take a big old step toward the back of your mat. Spin your left heel in, right into Durgasana before we transition to the next balance. You can bring your hands to your hips or come on up to cactus arms. And then lengthen up. Find a block. Take it toward the top edge of your mat. We're going to stay with the right foot as base. You can spin your left toes behind you now. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Reach all the way forward. Find your block. And as you do that, your left toes can float. Back up a little bit here so I'm not crashing into my wall. Left toes can float, perhaps toward your heel. Ardha Chandrasana, maybe you want to reach your left fingertips high. Perhaps, or you can keep left hand to hip or left hand to heart. You might also be working with floating your right fingertips up and off the block or off the earth. And then slowly lower your left foot all the way back down. Spin on your toes toward a runner's lunge. Take a step up with your left foot, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Uttanasana, and rise on up. Just one more balance on this side. Balance postures are fantastic for exploring this particular sankalpa. So we built lots and lots of them in. My mat is sliding all over the place. Okay. So right foot is still the base. Left leg now wraps around the top. You've got an option here. Rest your left toes on a block. Wrap them around if you'd like. We have right under which means upper body is going to be right over, right? So hug back to your shoulders, backs of your hands are palm to palm. It's Garudasana. Sink deep into your hips. A twisty, turvy one. Sink into your hips, perhaps reach your fingertips a little bit higher. Contrast from one side to the other as we now go in across midline. And then go ahead and lengthen at your hips, untangle your arms, settle back to your Tadasana. We've got a second side to move through in the home stretch. Okay, so left foot becomes base this time. Right foot comes to ankle, calf, or to inner thigh. Vrikshasana, let's start there. Hands to hips, heart, or up overhead. You find the variation that you love best. Rootedness, stability, but also you've got this ease, right? Like you could move your branches in the wind. You're not so rooted that you're stuck in mud. Draw your right knee towards center. Keep the right foot afloat. Offer it back. So heel toward hamstrings. Find a connection, right hand to right foot. You could stay right here, right? Nataraj prep. You could start to hinge forward. Perhaps your left fingertips reach high. Perhaps your right foot presses into your right hand. Natarajasana. You can stay up as high or lower down as much as you'd like. Ooh. And then go ahead and take a bend into your base leg. Release your right foot behind. Step all the way back. Spin your heel in. We're back in Durgasana. Sink down deep. Hands can stay here. Hands can come up here if you'd like. 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and lengthen back up. Spin your right toes. Set up your block for support. Okay, right hand comes to right hip. Let's reach all the way forward. Ardha Chandrasana, right foot comes to hover from your hip. You can hang out here. You can reach your right fingertips high. You can bring your right hand to your heart. Check in with your breath. Notice where there's expansion. Notice where there's contraction. Where's their effort? Where is their ease? All part of one greater whole. Bend deep into your base leg. Step back to your right toes. Bring your hands to the earth. Take a step up with your right foot and fold. Inhale to halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, revisit your fold, and then come on up. Okay, last one on this side, left foot's base. As an option, right leg comes over, land to your block, or wrap it around the back of your calf. Woo. I'm telling y'all, this carpet adds like such a super extra proprioceptive challenge. I'm loving it. Okay, so left arm over right. Reach back to shoulders. Backs of hands are palm to palm. Sink it down in the hips. Reach your fingertips upward. Check in with your breath. And then lengthen at your hips. Untangle upper body, untangle lower body. Settle in to your Tadasana. Take a breath. Inhale your arms out wide and high, expanding upper body. Breathe on down, Uttanasana. It's a halfway lift. Last chance if you did want to build Vinyasa into the practice. Otherwise, step back right to your downward facing dog. Take a breath. And then lift your gaze forward to walk, lunge, or hop. Crisscross at your ankles and come on down toward a seat. You can lengthen out your legs. Great work. You might want to have your block with you, Paschimottanasana, so we'll be active toes, active thighs, encouraging length in the backs of your legs. If you'd like, you can bring a blanket in under your bum to help give your pelvis a little tilt forward. Okay, so active here, go ahead and reach towards shins, ankles, toes, or if you'd like a block out beyond the soles of your feet, keep your gaze lifted out and beyond your toes for a breath. And then exhale to surrender into the shape. Surrender into your whole body, surrender into the form, into this present moment. Bring it all the way back up. I like these little mini practices. It certainly gives us a lot more space in our kind of uh, slowing down portion of the practice when we don't have too much to counter. So we'll come just into some yummy postures now. You can have anything around and with you that you might like for Shavasana. Roll on down to the earth. Take your big toes in your peace fingers, or you can bring the palms of your hands right to the soles of your feet. Your knees will bend deeply toward upper outer ribs, and you can hang out here in stillness or take a little bit of movement on Ananda Balasan. Some folks like to work to straighten the legs, right? If that's something you're playing with or you have space for. And then after that wide expansive variation, go ahead and hug your knees now into center. A more compact form, maybe round your back, roll your head way up towards your knees. And then exhale to release. Rest your knees down to your right side. Stack them or stagger them. Take your arms out wide from your shoulders. Gaze can be to the sky or out over your left fingertips. And again, start to watch your breath a little bit closer, just softening into your body and keeping this soft observation of the contrast in your system, even if it's simply watching how the exhale moves, how the inhale moves, how both sides together create one breath. Inhale to lift all the way up through center. And then go ahead and offer both knees down to your left side. So again, they can be stacked or staggered. Practitioner's choice. Gaze to the sky or out over your right shoulder this time around, or right fingertips. Taking a pause to really honor and thank all those different facets of you. You are this and you are that. And at the same time, paradoxically, undefinable, right? Neither this nor that. Everything, all and nothing. A lot of power in that, in my mind, because it really is like that old adage that, every day you get to wake up and decide who you are, right? Or what's next. You are not stuck to anything that you have been. It's really infinite potential. Slide your knees all the way back towards center. If you'd like, you can give yourself one last squeeze. If you'd like, you can explore any last shape or form that would help settle you in more completely toward Shavasana. If coming to Shavasana, rest your legs out long, of course, with any support you'd like, blocks or bolster under your knees. Lots of folks prefer closing in meditation for integration. So if that's you, just make your way there without hurry. Roll down to one side first. Take a little bit of time to settle in and integrate in this practice. Just as the salt pervades water and becomes inseparable from it, the self is not and cannot be separate from the infinite. It's all compassing, like the entire ocean. This is one of my favorite metaphors from the Upanishads. You are a drop in the ocean, but you are also the entire sea. It's all just part of the dance, like Ardhanarishwar, that dance of Shiva and Shakti. Part of the beauty in life is that we get to experience and enjoy all the contrasts of it and hopefully move beyond defining ourselves by one thing and rather embracing the full spectrum of this experience of living. Iti iti, the embrace of all experiences. Neti neti, without defining ourselves by any one or the other. On the paradox of identity, Khalil Gibran, the prophet, author of the prophet, said, "Only when you drink from the river of silence shall you then indeed sing." Allow yourself to marinate in the sweetness of your whole being for another few breaths. And then you can begin to lengthen out either side of your breath. If you're on the earth, you might rock your head gently from side to side. If you're in a meditation seat, maybe some gentle seated cat and cows or rolls with head, neck, or shoulders. And wiggle your fingers or your toes. Maybe build in a space for a stretch to feel into your full physical expansion from the tips of your fingers down to the tips of your toes. And then, if on the earth, take a roll to one side. Press on up toward a last seat where we can all come together to seal the practice today. And as you land, find a gesture that feels like an appropriate place for you to seal your practice. It could be hands, palms over heart, like Hridaya or an Anjali, a prayer. Maybe you prefer hands to the earth. Let your head rest low. And thank yourself so much. This practice of yoga, this physical form of asana, is wrapped in to an entire infinite world of deep philosophy built around explorations of our experience of living life. So really thank yourself for taking on something that is so much more complex and complete than just a few shapes in your physical form. It is this and that, and also just so sweet and simple. And thank yourself for layering on both effort and ease. And I wish you all a beautiful rest to your day. May you take this exploration with you. Thank you so much for joining, and hope to see you in for practice again really soon. Always such a joy to share these practices with you and continue to be able to share this love and passion of yogic philosophy with you all. Enjoy your day. Ciao for now.